The most famous book of Stoic philosophy was never meant to be a book. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations for you. He didn't write it for anyone. He wrote it to himself at night, alone, by lamplight, while running the largest empire on earth. It was a private journal, a place to argue with himself, correct himself, and remind himself how to be a person the next day. It survived by accident, and it turned out to be one of the most powerful self-improvement tools ever found, not because he was an emperor, but because of the simple thing he did every night. This is the unbothered Stoic. One ancient idea made usable every week. Today, the 5-minute evening habit Marcus used to stay steady while the world burned, and exactly how to run it tonight. Here's what almost nobody realizes about that book. It isn't wisdom being handed down from on high. It's a tired man talking himself off the ledge. Page after page, he repeats the same reminders because he kept forgetting them, the same way you do. People will be ungrateful today. This too is fleeting. Do the work in front of you. He wasn't lecturing, he was practicing. And that's the core idea I want you to carry out of this video. You don't have a knowledge problem, you have a remembering problem. You already know most of what would make your life better. Be present. Let the small stuff go. Focus on what you control. You've heard it 100 times. The reason it doesn't change anything is that a good idea heard once and never revisited is just entertainment. The Stoics didn't read philosophy. They rehearsed it nightly until it became the voice in their own head. The journal was the rehearsal. If that lands for you, take a second and hit like. It genuinely helps this reach other people who keep learning the same lessons and forgetting them. Then let me show you the practice because it's shorter and simpler than you think. 3 questions. 5 minutes before you sleep. The first question is Marcus's own. What did I do well today? Not to congratulate yourself, to notice. Most people run a highlight reel of their failures at night and call it reflection. The Stoics did the opposite first. Name one thing you handled with a little more steadiness than yesterday. You're training your attention to see progress because the version of you that only sees failure eventually stops trying. The second question, where did I lose my peace and why did I let it go? Seneca ended every day this way. He said he would examine my entire day and go back over what I have done and said, hiding nothing from myself. Notice the tone, not punishment. Investigation. You're a scientist studying one subject, the situations that reliably knock you off balance. Because here's what you'll find after a week. It's the same 3 or 4 things, the same person, the same hour, the same button. And once you can see the pattern on paper, it stops being able to ambush you. The third question is the one that changes tomorrow. What will I do differently? One thing, small and specific. Not be more patient, and that's a wish. When my brother brings up money, I'll take 1 breath before I answer. A single keepable adjustment. This is the hinge, reflection. Without a next action is just rumination with better lighting. Now let me be honest with you, because this is where people quit. The first week will feel pointless. You'll write 3 sentences and think, this is doing nothing. That's normal and it's a trap. The value isn't in any single entry. It's in the accumulation. The slow compounding effect of examining your own life on purpose night after night until self-awareness stops being something you do and becomes something you are. Marcus wrote for years. The power was never in one night. It was in 10,000 of them. And you don't need a beautiful notebook or the perfect words. Marcus wrote in fragments, repeated himself, contradicted himself. This is not an art project. It's a mirror you hold up to yourself before the day is gone and the lesson with it. 3 ugly sentences beat a blank perfect page every time. Here's the promise the Stoics kept finding. The examined life is a life you actually get to steer. Most people live the same year 75 times and call it a life because they never stop to look at the pattern they're repeating. The journal is how you break the loop. It's the difference between being carried by your habits and quietly, deliberately rewriting them, 1 honest paragraph at a time. Marcus wrote near the end, nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own mind. He built that retreat with a pen every night, even while an empire pulled at him from every direction. So tonight, before you sleep, try it once. What did I do well? Where did I lose my peace? What will I do differently? 5 minutes. Then close the book and rest, knowing you didn't just live the day, you learned from it. I genuinely like to know, and I read the comments, what's the one situation you already suspect your journal would keep pointing at? Name it below. That's you doing the work early. The next video is about the single place all of this actually happens, the only place you ever really live, and the Stoic discipline for staying inside it instead of drowning in a past and future that aren't real. Subscribe and stay. We're building this calm one idea at a time.